The California Golden Bears 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's brought to you by Bird Dog Shorts. Dominate summer with an amazing pair of shorts and a free Yeti style tumbler when you order over at birddogs.com/pool. Once again, that's birddogs.com/pool.
This is Brock Purdy from Iowa State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Cal Golden Bears 2023 season preview episode. I'm excited to talk about the boys in Berkeley and the Cal Golden Bears. Perhaps you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to. Well, first off, hopefully you're watching as well. Remember, youtube.com/the college experience. But yes, if you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swing It Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Pretend it never happened and get along with your life. That's what the Cal Golden Bear fans are saying when they look back at the past 3 years. But Justin Wilcox, hey, this is a coach that 3 losing seasons in a row, but turned down a lot of money to stay in Berkeley and produce a winner. I am joined by my co-host for this episode. He is the host of the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. And look, they call him the man in the box. And I give you CJ Sullivan. How you doing, buddy?
Yes, it's great to be back. And I just got a little nostalgic for the Picks Dundee soundboard.
Oh yeah,
the wheels of steel. You were the maestro.
Yeah, I'll give you some music.
Yeah,
too.
I was going to say, give me
Super Bowl action. Let's go.
I wasn't even ready. It brought me back because, of course, the XFL days. I didn't know where to jump in. So I'm like, who knows how long that introduction? It's like the
Michael Buffer or something.
Yeah,
right?
or like Apollo Creed and that rock. You know, you go no nicknames. Master of disaster. And it's just 1,000 things.
It's true. I'm working on adding to it. If you have any ideas, please get at my.
I love it.
Get at my people.
Good to be here,
buddy. Look, when I think of Cal Golden Bear football, I think of you.
Yes, I love Cal.
You love football.
I love football. I love California football. I love the Cal Bears especially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't realize Wilcox has been there 6 years now.
Yeah. And it's actually one of the more interesting things because we know Cal, like in college football, a lot of times you don't really get a pass on 3 straight losing seasons.
Right.
But, a year ago, you had Mario Cristobal, the former Oregon Duck head coach, leave for the Miami Hurricanes. And Cal went to Justin Wilcox. Oregon went to Justin Wilcox as to potentially hire him because he's an Oregon Duck.
Wow.
So then you're thinking, okay, well, why would he turn down Oregon to stay with Cal? And he says, well, I think I'm building a winner here. These recruits have made a commitment to me. Something you do not see in 2000 in the 2000s, let alone 2022 or 23. And he's 30 and 36.
I was just going to say he must see something that I also don't see because I don't know.
Well, it's like I don't even think he's on the hot seat then because
he can't be,
they realize that he just turned down Oregon to stay with them.
I can't believe. All right.
And I get it. He coached at Cal in the golden era when they had Aaron Rodgers. Well, that's not actually the golden era. That's just a very decent era. The golden era is back in the day, CJ, because Cal, I like to rattle these things off.
Yeah, rattle them off. Let's do some Cal Bear rattling before we get into.
Yes, let's rattle this off because they're 11-time national champions.
That's amazing.
Right now, I don't know that all 11 are noticed, but I have a thing here. Like they have 11 undefeated football seasons.
Before the AP voting. This is way. Yeah.
I mean, some of those national championships, even the AP, I'll come at a little bit here because Texas claims one in 71, I think it is, where they were 11-1. Notre Dame was 11-1, and they played each other in the final game of the season, and Notre Dame won. And so that was essentially the national championship. They lost to Notre Dame.
That set that
claimed the national championship.
That set that precedent of losing the team and saying, yeah, but they lost to a better team, us, than who they lost to, like someone else. Yeah, but they beat you. Right. And we're good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, then you got Alabama, who's got, national championships quoted from like a local weekend newspaper that from a town that has 375 people.
We do declare Reno Hightower is the greatest quarterback in the history of America.
But so 11-time national champion.
Nice.
And Cal Golden Bears. I mean, look, we were talking about this in the office, man. They do have a strong pedigree. If you remember, I don't know, the youth probably does not know some of the quarterbacks that have came out of there. But remember old Steve Bartkowski, was it for the Atlanta Falcons?
Absolutely. Yeah. Those red Falcon jerseys.
Yeah, man. I remember Dave Barr. We used to have we had Steve Mariucci used to coach there in the 90s.
No, yeah, Mariucci was there before that. I was before it, and then Tedford got there and brought in Aaron Rodgers.
And Kyle Bowler.
Can't deny Kyle Bowler. Kyle Bowler had one of those beautiful tapes where he would like throwing from his knees and like he would do like those crazy whipping passes.
And then Jared Goff came along in the Sonny Dykes era. Sonny Dykes, and that's something I noticed too. You think of Tedford and Dykes, the last two Cal Berkeley coaches. Tedford wins the Mountain West last year, his second Mountain West championship in 3 years of coaching. And then Sonny Dykes plays for the national championship. Do you think Cal Golden Bear fans were sitting there watching, saying, "What the fuck did we do?
Right?
What did we do wrong here?"
I think on my Cal Bear insiders, by the way, who love their, of course, Aaron Rodgers said, Tedford does deserve all the credit, but he said a lot of the credit should have went to Tosh Lupoli, who went to Alabama. He did the nuts and bolts recruiting of like your athletes, of your running backs, your Javid Best, your Marshawn Lynch's,
JJ Arrington,
CJ Anderson's, your Justin Forsett's. A lot of pedigree there.
A lot of pedigree, dude. But that's what I'm saying. They have wide receivers. Deshaun Jackson, Wesley Walker, Sean Dawkins. We mentioned Hardy Nickerson and Ken Harvey. I just love to rattle off old players. Let's go.
Names. I love it.
There was a white safety that played in the. I'm drawing a blank right now. Chris Conti, you played for the Chicago Bears.
Chris Conti, absolutely. I think they're like the little West Virginia of the Cal Bears. Their uniform. This random athletes, that came out of there, and
they should be better.
They should be better than what they are.
This is a school that has a great history back in the day of a lot of dominant football seasons. They need to put more emphasis on football. John Madden used to teach a football class at Cal Berkeley back in the 70s.
See, that's part of the problem. See, they're up. It's the Cal Berkeley mindset up there. You got the student body up there, and of course Stanford is the private school rivalry they go against. But they're also Cal Berkeley. Yeah, the kids, they lived in the trees. Remember that? Because God forbid a tree gets cut down in front of a white kid. They're gonna live it for a while. And that's the kind of bullshit that John Madden would teach against, I would think.
Yeah, I don't know that they would offer that same thing if Madden was that age today. But either way, Cal's got to get it together. And yeah, I would argue, you touched on that, Cal Stanford. I actually think that's the greatest college football play, and maybe my favorite play in the history of football. The 82 big game, Stanford Cal. If you haven't seen this one, then I don't know what turn us off at this point. But no. Obviously that play where they pitch the ball like 1,000 times, the band comes on the field, and there's just it's just a crazy game. John Elway was the quarterback of Stanford. He had just battled back, had this big time comeback, and then they lose on this crazy kick.
On the now Stanford Cal band on the field play overrated, right? You like to believe that?
No, greatest play of all time. They did a statue. I'm trying to remember the guy's name who scored the touchdown.
I was just kidding. Sean, I was told by a Sean Green to bring that up to get you going, to get you riled up. You think it's the greatest play ever, even though his knee was down?
I think it's the greatest play ever because you get to see unnecessarily a football player destroy a band guy.
Destroy a band. The Don McLean song came to life. What would really happen if the band refused to yield at that time, you know? Yeah, you'll get struck. Yeah. You refuse to yield. Get the fuck back into bleachers.
Yeah, I mean, so that like this play, go YouTube's available, folks.
Yeah,
all right. YouTube's available. Make sure you check it out. But yeah, we're gonna talk all about it. But Wilcox, I have just a key point I'm gonna make on Justin Wilcox here. I think he just got to win close games. Okay. One thing I've noticed is so the 2 years that he had great success, 18 and 19, and I don't know if great's the right word there, but they were 8-5 in one score games during those 2 years. But overall, he is 12-20 in close games, and that includes since that decent season in 2019 where they won a bowl game, they are 3-12 in close games. That is why, like, I can see the reasoning for like them being excited to have Wilcox. You're in these games against very good teams. You've beaten USC recently, you know. So like, I see that, but they're that close. They're that close. Can they find a way to win some of these close games? Is the question. I think that's the question going into 2023. Well,
they are. They are against the norm, I think, in the Pac-12 where they do have a good defense normally, and so which puts them in closer games. You know, a lot of times if these Pac-12 games, when it gets back and forth, games can just get away from you. You know.
Yeah, they're kind of like the fish out of water in a way in there. But I feel like Oregon State's kind of on that path now too, and same with Utah.
Yeah, the Beeve likes to grind it out against you. So up there because they know that's what happens when you have a lack of talent. This point, you have to bring it. You have to
slow the game down,
muddy it up a bit.
Slow the game down. Look, we're gonna talk all about it, but before we do that, I want to tell you that the college football experience, Cal Golden Bears 2023 season preview is brought to you by Bird Dogs. You know, Bird Dogs, they make you look good. All right. Yes, Bird Dogs are stretch khaki shorts, and they're designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Think about Swayze and Roadhouse. That's the way you're going to look.
I think about that constantly anyway.
That's the way you're going to look. If you throw on some Bird Dogs.
Get a Dalton look?
Yeah, all of a sudden they're going to be asking you to work the door, you know.
Saying things like
some bar.
Pain don't hurt. Actually, Dalton, it does. That's a definition of the word.
Pain don't hurt.
Yeah, it might not hurt you, but pain in general, it means, that's what the pain is. It hurts.
You're going to be feeling like that. You're going to be saying outlandish things like that. Okay. Bird Dog shorts do the exact same thing as other shorts, but they fit way, way better. Look,
they do the exact same thing as other shorts. Listen, they're not trying to reinvent the shorts. They do what other shorts do, but they also make you sweat in your balls so much.
Look, there's a lot of reasons for why this thing is fantastic.
They're not going to make you fly or anything like that. They do what other shorts do. They keep you from getting arrested.
But the other shorts have stiff, restricting cotton.
Yeah,
and that's always an issue. I remember told my wife last week, we were at the beach. I'm sick of this stiff restricting cotton. And she goes, I get what you're saying. Dundee, here's some
your wife stiff restricting. What's going on in his ad read?
So look, Bird Dogs fixed this issue a long time by inventing cloud knit fabric. Oh man. It looks just like khakis, but it stretches, so you'll get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice all that movement. And look, Bird Dogs uses this is just fantastic. As far as I'm concerned, they should be involved with the space program after reading some stuff like this. They use anti-stink sweat wicking fabric. Woo-hoo. I mean, look, let's say you're at college, you're at Cal Berkeley, all right? You know what I mean? You're dropping acid, you're doing God knows what, right? If you're listening,
you're in the trees, where the sap is. I mean,
look, you probably, you're maybe go a couple days without showering.
Yeah, the natural deodorant you're drinking, using Tom's bullshit. Tracks berries and twigs.
Yeah. So look,
You're gonna need a little help.
Yeah, maybe you got to go back home, see mom and dad after you've been out for 3 days, and you don't want to smell like you've been on a bender, like you've been hanging. You know what I mean? You don't want to smell like Kiefer Sutherland in '95, right? So what you do is you got these bird dogs. Their anti-stink sweat wicking fabric is going to keep you cool and dry and smelling like a plum. Plum smell.
Plum smelling. Plum smelling, short shifting, sweat stanking. Bird dogs either gotta love this ad because it's 25 minutes long of their product, or
or they're gonna fire me. That's
right.
Perfect. Right? Go to birddogs.com/pool. Enter the promo code POOL. That's POOL for a free Yeti style tumbler.
Right.
They're just throwing in.
There you go.
Like you get a tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/pool for a free Yeti style tumbler. You won't want to take your bird dogs off. We promise you.
There is your bird dog tumbler too. It's a nice tumbler.
There we go.
Same one of them knockoff ones. You can spill this and
you can do whatever with that, man. Go take that out camping.
Take that out camping. Piss your shorts right there. They got the technology to go right through that.
There you go. birddogs.com/pool. I like that. I like that right there. Let's talk a little Cal Golden Bears football.
All right, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's really get into it here because
now they haven't been a bowl game in a while. The last bowl game was 2019. So outdated, it was the Red Box Bowl.
Before that, they hadn't been the Blockbuster Bowls.
Weren't in the Audio Cassette Bowl after that in 1986, the Mixtape Bowl.
But you know what, though? In 2020 and 21, Justin Wilcox, and this is why I thought he would leave, they had the craziest COVID restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
I remember them playing a game
in Berkeley, for crying out loud.
They had to go to Tucson.
Yeah.
This is in 21, not even the COVID year, because COVID year obviously was brutal. But 2021, they go to Tucson, and their players, none of them have COVID. None of them are complaining, but they had the test. They tested and said, "Oh no, they've had it." So like I think Garber's their QB.
Yeah,
it was a slew of players, like 20 players that even though they're like, no, we right. feel fine.
Yeah, no,
it's like no, it was a lot of question marks. I think around what exactly happened there in 21, but. That's why I thought he would leave.
Yeah.
But no, doubles down. And here he is. They haven't been bowling, but I think they got a decent shot this year.
Who's their athletic director? Gavin Newsom, for crying out loud. With all these restrictions they throw out there. We need more. We need more RFK Juniors out there saying, get the hell out there. Who cares? None of this is real.
So look, the transfer portal. That's always so huge. That's
absolutely.
Always so huge. And departing transfers. Offensive tackle Jackson Brown goes to Pittsburgh. Defensive lineman Henry Ifo goes to Nevada. Tight end Jermaine Terry goes to Oregon State. Wide receiver, this was a brutal loss. J. Michael Sturdivant, that guy flashed as a freshman.
Yes,
he goes.
That one hurts.
Yeah, he goes to UCLA. He's a beast. Running back Ashton Hayes, Nevada. Offensive tackle Spencer Lowell to Kansas. Quarterback Jack Plummer, who started for them a year ago, goes to the Louisville Cardinals where he reconnects with Jeff Brom.
Interesting.
The backup Kai Milner goes to the Lumberjacks in Northern Arizona. Linebacker Patrick Take goes to Hawaii. Tight end Kaliki Latu goes to Nevada. Linebacker, this is another huge one here. Ula Wafimi Oladejo to UCLA. UCLA just grabbing two studs on this team.
Chip that bad.
Yeah,
Chip
coming in.
More like Chisler Kelly, her little son of a bitch.
Linebacker Malcolm McClure goes to Nevada. I'm sorry, Did I say linebacker? Yeah, running back DeCarlos Brooks goes to Arizona State. Linebacker Oren Patu to Arizona. Running back Damian Moore to Fresno. Offensive tackle Ben Coleman, Arizona State. Long snapper Slater Zellers, he's even out of there. Arizona State, and kicker Dario Longhetto to Arizona State. That's a lot of losses right there.
A lot of losses. Well, I can see why the Plummer wanted to go.
Yeah, I mean, Brom recruited him to Purdue.
Yeah,
he leaves. He comes to Berkeley for a year. That offense was terrible.
He gets sacked 31 times. Yeah, maybe I might hang around. Who'd you guys bring in for O lineman? No, and they're just a year older. Great. They're the same guys, but now they're 19. Super.
The incoming transfers. I thought they brought in some good talent though.
They did bring in good talent.
Yeah,
I'm not sure, but I'm saying the O line didn't change much. They're like, well, we count on them getting older. Yeah, they're older. they're still
doesn't mean they're good.
Yeah, they didn't get better. They're just older.
So look, they go out.
But who did they bring in?
The running back Justin Williams-Thomas from Tennessee, linebacker Sergio Allen from Clemson. That was a top 10 defense a year ago.
Yes.
Running back Byron Cardwell from the Oregon Ducks.
Okay.
Cornerback Noel Williams from UNLV. Linebacker David Reese from Florida. Athlete, not kind of a wide receiver. I'm curious where they'll use him because I watch Colorado Buffalo football, but Jalen Moore coming over from Colorado. And then tight end Asher Alberding from North Texas. Wide receiver Brian Hightower coming in from Illinois. He was a big recruit to Illinois.
Yeah,
Hightower, man, a police academy guy. You know, who's your favorite police academy guy?
Oh, Sweet Chuck by far. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna say Tackleberry. I thought you were a Tackleberry.
Tackleberry's great. He's obvious, but Sweet Chuck was good. Sweet Chuck on the scene, coming in late, you know, and he did that quiet rage, and he got in with a big bosom blonde there. And
tight end JT.
Sweet Chuck lived it up.
Go check out Police Academy 4, not any of the other ones.
Now 4, is that the last?
Which is the one there in Miami? That's the one I'm talking
Citizens
about.
on Patrol. That's
they went to Moscow in the last one.
Moscow was one.
Yeah.
I think Miami would have been 4. But is that? I think Gutenberg was out. That's what. That's if you really want to get into this. That's when. That's when you can tell things really turned in Police Academy because Gutenberg left, and then they just replaced him with this other fake Mahoney. Instead of Proctor. Yeah. Instead of hiring from within, you know, they could have had Winslow become the new chief. Anybody, Bubba Smith, Hightower, anybody, Tackleberry. Yeah. But no, they brought in some new fucking, you know, Mahoney, some Proctor, and you could tell there was tension on this, tension in the force.
Yeah. But look, you guys were talking about dropping acid. Drop acid. Watch all 7 police academies. Thank me later. Tight end JT Bine is coming over from Oregon State. Here's what I love about that. Their tight end, it's like the modern day trade here because we saw that I just rattled off who left. Jermaine Terry, the second tight end for Cal, is now at Oregon State, but they got Oregon State's tight end in JT Byrne or Bine, I guess it is. Look, that guy's penciled in to be a day 1 starter. That should be interesting. Quarterback Sam Jackson, and I hope you burn in hell, comes over from TCU.
Sam Jackson, the 5th.
Yeah, I mean, look, I actually really like what they did in the portal. Running back King DeRue comes in from Purdue. Quarterback Ben Finley from NC State started 2 games for the Wolfpack a year ago. And then this is one that I think you probably weren't aware of. This is a very recent one. They got offensive lineman Matthew Wyckoff from Texas A&M, which
I
was
definitely unaware of that.
Yeah,
as
that
I was
happened in like the past
about
2
the
weeks.
line. Oh, all right. Sam Jackson, by the way, from TCU.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a stud, man.
Never threw an incomplete pass in his entire career.
And how many passes?
6, but it's still 6 for 6.
Yeah. Hey.
2-way start. That's something I don't never usually do though. A quarterback is have that 2-way start who can run it and run the dual threat, if you will.
Oh.
Like you said, we're used to the Kyle Bowlers and the Jared Goffs. You know what I mean? But like, I think especially in this offense, what
lawn
they're going to do, a bunch of lawn chairs, as you like to call them. I think Sam Jackson, snakes on the plane. I think
watch out.
Yeah,
watch out
with this offense and their new coordinator. Right.
I'm super excited.
Jake Spavital.
Well, he's back. He's back with the Cal Golden Bears. He was with them with Sonny Dykes.
In 2016, he had a year under Sonny Dykes. So he's
top
got that
10 offense.
So he's got that air raid roots to him.
Yeah.
But obviously they're going to have to run the ball a little bit because they have that running back.
And that offensive line's older.
Man, older offensive line. But they have Jayden Ott, who was a great freshman. He had a huge game versus Arizona.
Oh, that guy's a stud.
Yeah.
That guy's a stud.
Had 270 yards, 3 touchdowns versus Arizona. That's when he kind of put himself on the map, obviously. So I think they're gonna have to focus the offense around them.
I think though they've added some really good pieces. There's a few more. Hang on, there's a few more in the portal.
No, give me more portals.
Cornerback Patrick McMorris. This guy was an all-conference player in the Mountain West, first team with San Diego State. He came over very late. Cornerback Marcus Scott II from Missouri. Wide receiver Marquez Dortch from Mississippi State. Quarterback Luke Batari from Utah. Running back Isaiah Ifanse from San Jose State. And recently just wide receiver Taj Davis from the Washington Huskies. So 8 starters are back on the offensive side of the ball.
Wow.
All right.
That's great.
I do think with Jake Spavital, who's going to instantly, that guy, look, say what you want about it. He was the head coach of Texas State recently. They struggled at Texas State, but that offense could score.
That's all. Yeah.
The offense could score. I think Sam Jackson and Jayden Ott is a pretty dangerous backfield.
Yeah.
I even like the fact that, like, to me, those skill position players I just alluded to. I think Ott, the depth, King DeRue for Purdue, I thought was a solid player when he was at Purdue.
Mm-hmm.
Caldwell comes over from the Oregon Ducks. He might get some burn. Hightower, like as I alluded to, was a big time recruit for Illinois. Things didn't work out for whatever reason, maybe because Brett Bielema's never used a wide receiver, but he's now in Berkeley. I think that could be a good get.
Sure.
Marquez Dortch from Mississippi State, Taj Davis. I see them just putting a lot of skill position players.
And Jeremiah Hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost had 1,000 yards last year. He had 60 catches and 5 touchdowns or so. He's going to be featured. I mean, they have talent.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure.
Like, and I think they went with the youth movement last year. You look at how bad they, how many losses they had a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was like, fuck it. I'm going to go with all my youth, have them build up. Now, some of those guys got plucked away by UCLA and Arizona State, but I still think this is a pretty decent offense with Jake Spavital at the helm. I have my issues with the previous offense coordinator. I don't believe he was aggressive enough. Spavital is going to be aggressive.
Yes.
This is 2023 college football. So I think this offense is going to be pretty good. You?
Yeah, I'm excited, like you said, for the first time what they're going to do with the two-way quarterback. They don't have I don't know about their depth, but for the talent they have that's out there, if that O-line can do something, just do something.
4 of 5 back on the O-line, then you add Wyckoff, the Texas A&M transfer, maybe. Yeah, but CJ's got a point. If they weren't great last year, now I understand Wilcox's philosophy. He was like, let me go young, but obviously some of those question marks could still be question marks in 23.
And linemen is a position that matures better. That you do get better as you go along. It's not like some skill positions where you're like, if you're not good now, you're never going to be good.
Yeah, exactly. So then the defensive side of the ball, which is Wilcox's forte,
right?
The same DC, they're steady there.
They should stay.
Look, this is where I think if you're a Cal fan, you're actually really excited because they returned their entire defensive line, and they also get Brett Johnson back. Johnson.
Now he looks like a legit. Like he looked. I mean, you see him and go, "That's an NFL football player."
Yeah,
Brett Johnson. But he had some injuries, right?
He hasn't played in 2 years. Wow. 2 years because we thought he was going to play last year. Came back late, and you're like, well, save the eligibility.
Right.
But bringing him back to a defensive line that's already bringing back everyone. They have depth now.
I love their defense. I love their secondary, their linebackers, all of them. They can ball out. Did you even mention Noel Williams? He came in from.
Did I mention
UNLV,
from corner? Right? Yeah, I think that's what I'm saying. And then you add McMorris and all that other secondary.
Craig Woodson, McMorris. I mean, that secondary is loaded.
And Jackson Sermon at linebacker. I really think this defense is going to be. I think it might be one of the better in the whole Pac-12 because we know that's USC's flaw. That's I feel like UCLA's flaw right now.
Yeah.
I feel like Washington has been pretty light defensively. Now here's the thing. They're breaking in a brand new kicker. I just mentioned Cal's got a knack. Cal reminds me of Eastern Michigan in the MAC. If you listen to our MACtion episodes or our Eastern Michigan preview, they always play close games.
Right.
Like Cal's got a knack for doing that. They have to win some of these close games. I think, I honestly believe they could really overachieve this year if they can win some of these close games because they're going to be in almost. I feel like when we look and say, oh, USC's playing Cal, it's like. Most people would say, "Oh, USC is going to destroy them." It won't be a destruction. That'll be like a 1 possession at most, maybe 10-point game.
Yeah, always is.
So, let's get to it, buddy. Because
this kicker,
we have a brand new kicker,
Michael Luckhurst. Is that what we're talking about? Son of Mick Luckhurst, who kicked for Cal and the NFL. Mick the Kick.
Mick the Kick, yes, and he's coming in, and
I like him. I like a son of a kicker.
Normally I feel like you got pedigree there.
That's what I mean.
Have we seen any NFL kickers that have sons that are really good?
Sons of kickers?
I feel like we should, but maybe we don't.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they would. I wouldn't, right? You think?
Yeah, I feel like where the hell's Morton Anderson's kid?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Matt. Yeah, right. I can imagine Matt Barr's kid's got to have some kind of kicker.
Something's going on here, but either way, I think that. But assuming he starts, because we're forecasting this, either way, I think the kicker could be a huge position for Cal this year. And That's good. That's the red flag to me.
Mm-hmm.
Offensive line, kicker.
All right.
But let's get to the schedule. But before we get to that schedule, I want to tell you, fine people out there, that the Cal Golden Bears 2023 season preview is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Oh man, their best ball mania is here, and Underdog Fantasy is giving away $15 million in prizes. Whew. Underdog Fantasy Pick'em is also a great way to get down on your favorite MLB and college baseball player props. And when college football starts, they have awesome player prop parlays that you can do as well. So many ways to win over at Underdog and active in so many different states. Head over to underdogfantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. That's underdogfantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. If you're watching on YouTube right now, youtube.com/the college experience, you will see myself, CJ Sullivan, with this sweet ass graphic behind us.
Yes.
CJ, well, first shout out to Cam Kerr, our graphics guy. You see this great Cal graphic and you see the win total sitting at 5. Before we dive into the schedule and go game by game, I'm curious your first reaction when you see 5 wins. I'll be honest with mine. I knew that they were going with the youth movement last year.
Right.
So my first reaction, even though I know Cal plays a 9-game schedule, conference schedule, and normally schedules pretty aggressively to in the out of conference, almost like to their own detriment. But I lean over just blindly,
without seeing the schedule.
I do because
5 wins. What is it? Usually 11 game schedule, 12 game schedule.
But normally, when you see a coach go all youth, the next year you see development happen. So my first thought would be like 6-6, 7-5. How about yourself?
6-6, 7-5. It seems like 7-5. I think is ambitious. Just because I'm thinking Pac-12,
Yeah.
And then,
but they got rid of the divisions.
Right.
So there's that. Because the North had been so much better than the South, and they still end up playing. But I can get there. I can get there for the over. Let's go. Let's run. Well, let's see. Let's see. I'm not saying I'm totally sold on this yet because we're going to go game by game.
I don't think they're a 3-win team. That's for sure. I think 5 sounds like a good number.
Well, for
5.5, I might lean under 5. Why not? Because if 5 is a push, I'll go whatever. Like I said, that's just initial thoughts.
Yeah, and for some strange reason, they're out of conference. Hilarious. For some strange reason, they said, "Hey, you know what, North Texas, you don't need to come to Berkeley. We'll come to you week 1."
Yes.
Now,
little home and home with North Texas.
I mean, that's why the Pac-12 gets the label that they have, is because they end up signing up for crazy games like this. Now, the only good thing that they have going in regards to that is North Texas is breaking in a brand new head coach in Eric Morris. That's his first game ever there. However, North Texas fired their previous coach in a year they played for their conference championship. Weird firing. So to me, like, it's not like a complete rebuild. He's going to walk into North Texas. And another thing is Eric Morris was the offensive coordinator of Washington State. So he's familiar with Justin Wilcox and the Cal Golden Bears. But I think it's a dangerous game, but I'm going to take Cal, but I think it's a dangerous game playing at in Denton, Texas. What are you doing here week 1
in North Texas? Dangerous. They got a lot of not turnover, but a lot of things they got to root out. They got to polish out before that season's opener. When is that? September 2nd, I believe.
Yeah, September 2nd.
So the quotes coming out of there, I mean, that could be Coach Doc too. Said they got a lot of work to do before they can get to that season opener. But you got to come out and you got to win that. You got to win that. I think it's with this new offense that they won't be ready for. They got to get this win.
If there is
tell you what, they lose this game, it's
you're cooked, right?
Yeah, it's bad things to come. I mean, rip up your tickets immediately because it's getting a lot worse from there.
I'll say this is a very challenging out of conference schedule in my opinion.
Okay.
But at least you get your first 2 non-con opponents are breaking in brand new head coaches, because week 2, Hugh Strip Club Freeze and the Auburn Tigers head.
What do you set that line at, by the way? Would you set a Cal North Texas?
Cal -3.
Do you think it's that tight of a game?
I mean, North Texas played for the conference championship a year ago.
Let's see if I can pull something up for you. You're a small school soldier.
Maybe
as
4.5.
You're definitely
talk me. You can talk me into 4.5.
Wow.
Is there a line on that now?
Then you should get to the books right now and hammer North Texas because they're laying 9.5.
Cal's laying
9.5.
Wow.
And that is juiced up, so it's going up.
The only thing I'll say is switch brand new head coaches coming in. They normally, I know Wilcox won his first game ever at Cal, but normally it can be a process. So, but the transfer portal these days, man,
right?
You can just load up.
It's definitely a game changer for sure. So
I got them 1-0. You got them 1-0.
Got them 1-0, 9.5 point favorites. So I'll tell you, I don't know if they're late. I don't know if they're covering that, but it's in a rock fight. Let's get them. Let's get them out of there with a win.
Now comes the Auburn Tigers, who talking about transfer portal. They have a whole roster of transfer portal guys. Hugh Freeze, the new head coach, as I alluded to, is a guy we know has the SEC roots. He's been a scumbag pretty much at every stop, but
didn't stop them from hiring him.
Yes, and that's why he fits at Auburn. He's coached from a fucking hospital bed before. Remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this is actually, people don't know this, CJ.
Yeah.
This is one where I favor Cal.
Cal at home.
I do.
Versus Auburn. First time they've ever played an SEC team up in Berkeley.
No, not true.
Not true?
Not true. First time Auburn up in Berkeley.
First time Auburn?
They beat Ole Miss and they beat Tennessee the last time they came to Berkeley.
Really?
Yeah. So
maybe I read that wrong. First time they're playing Auburn then.
Yeah, first time they're playing the Memorial Stadium. I've made this case for a while. Like home field advantage anywhere in college athletics, football, basketball.
Yeah,
it really matters. The Pac-12 has actually more than held their own against the ACC and SEC when they came west. Look at. I know what Arizona lost to Mississippi State last year, but if you look at the previous SEC teams that actually went all the way to the West Coast.
Yeah.
LSU gets smacked by UCLA the year after they won the national championship. A&M gets beat by UCLA. I believe the last time Bama played at a Pac-12 school, they lost. It was UCLA. Well, I don't know why all these are UCLA, but there's other ones too, where you come up. I just talked about it. Cal's won. They swept Ole Miss, but Ole Miss came to Berkeley. They beat them. Tennessee came to Berkeley. They beat them. Oregon's another one. I think Mississippi State had a home and home. They got destroyed in Autzen. Tennessee also did a home and home with them. They got destroyed in Autzen. So they've held their own on the West Coast. I think Cal's going to win this one mainly because it's week 2. If this was week 10, I would be on Auburn. But the fact it's a brand new head coach. I watched the Auburn spring game. I don't know if I can deduce anything from that. It was in like a monsoon.
Yeah.
They did get Peyton Thorne recently, the Michigan State quarterback, but I think this is a game, and I favor the Cal Golden Bears because of that. And this is a 10:30 kick, I think I see, or East Coast time.
Yes.
So I'm going Cal Berkeley to win this. You?
Wow. Well, that's
a fool.
That's
right?
ambitious. It's tough because we were playing. I mean, obviously it's a mid-tier SEC. I think, right? With everything you said about it. With Hugh and everything, the turnover and all that, it's still SEC, and you're not playing the top tier of the Pac-12. I mean, the Cal is, they haven't been a bowl game in 3 years for crying out loud. Last time they won a conference was 2006. Or tied, and it was tied for the conference. And we're talking about those bodies when you're talking about an inconsistent O-line that needs to prove itself. The last thing you want is just any of these SEC bodies coming through them, and I would rather them get them during later. I know what you're saying. Get them early in the season is good too.
Especially with the brand new coach,
right? With the brand new coach.
Any other year,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I agree with that
because you're learning the system. You only have so many practices.
And I imagine the tune-up Auburn has in their first game. They're not
UMass. They get UMass.
I was going to say they're not going to North Texas.
Yeah, UMass is coming to town.
So they are only looking at Cal as far as scheduling. You know what I mean?
It's true. That is true.
They don't care what the Amherst offense is. They're running at them. So I'm going to say, listen, I hope Cal does pull this off, but I'm going to. I think
you got them at 1-1.
Yeah, I got them.
See, I'm terrified of this next matchup because. Folks, if the Idaho Vandals come to town, you might laugh.
No,
Idaho, the Vandals, FCS. This is a top preseason top 10 FCS, and if you look back at last year, they had Washington State and Indiana on the ropes, and they were starting a true freshman quarterback last year. So those was his first 2 starts of his career. At Wazoo, they lose by 7. That was a 17-17 game in the 4th. I remember watching it. And then the Indiana one in the snow, in the rain, I think it was. That was one that got away from them late too. But once again, that was the quarterback McCoy's first 2 starts. So I think, and that was that head coach's first year. So I think Idaho's going to be a team to watch out for, especially if you beat an SEC opponent. I could totally see Idaho winning this game.
Is this game at Idaho? Did you say?
No, it's in Berkeley. But if they were to beat Auburn, like I projected,
yes,
man, they're going to think they're the world's best thing, and then the Vandals can come in and beat them. I think it's one of the hardest FCS on FBS games in the entire slate this upcoming season. Having said that, I'm taking them 3-0. 3-0.
You're taking 3-0 Cal Bears.
3-0.
See, I haven't beaten Idaho at home, and there's a never more appropriate nickname than the Vandals for that bunch of criminals and hooligans. That whole Idaho.
We saw it happen in Moscow, didn't we? Have a crazy Moscow killer?
You don't want to play at Idaho in November or December up there. I mean, it's fucking wild up there, but it's lawless. They talk about
they got people in the U-Haul.
Oh
my God! We have like a fucking.
It is the gun-toed red state euphoria. Of like it is lawless up there. They're like it's good living.
Yeah,
they'll teach you. But if they do beat Auburn, I would have them. That's a good letdown spot.
It is a sneaky letdown spot.
But I have them losing to Auburn, so I haven't have them be able to beat Auburn.
So I got them 3-0. Just give them the national championship now. CJ, right?
You talk about feeling themselves. If they're 3-0 after that, the Gazette's going up there, and the Cal get up in the trees, cut down libtards, hug a tree, and set your parades for all the woke kids in America. Because, but I got a 2-1. Who got next up to the dial?
They head to Husky Stadium, where actually they've played Washington extremely well.
Yeah.
But Washington's pretty loaded this year.
And they got the Heisman winner.
Yeah, Michael Penix. You hear that first there. Get your futures. I got them losing 2 in Seattle at Husky Stadium.
No, they don't. That's a tough game.
So 3-1. You have them at 2-2. Then comes Arizona State. Arizona State, complete mystery team. Everyone talks about Dion in Colorado, 8,000 transfers. Well, so is Arizona State. Just their head coach isn't named Dion. It's really hard to understand who the hell Arizona State is. Honestly, like they have like 60 transfers. So you're just like, who are they starting? Taking a guess here and there. I'm going to favor Cal because it's at Cal. I think Cal bounces back and moves to 4-1 against the Sun Devils of Arizona State.
Yeah, I don't know what you're exactly right. Who knows what's going on with
Kenny
Arizona
Dillingham
State.
year 1?
Yeah.
Hey, there's got to be some value in Cal getting 3 brand new coaches out of the first 5 opponents.
Yeah,
there's got to be some value there.
Absolutely, and there is some consistency with Cal. Oh, the color scheme of that game is already making me sick. Just thinking of Arizona State at Cal and the sun and the open balls on
Pac-12
that.
Network. Check that one out. And,
what do I have to download Tubi for that? How do I get? Don't even get this Pac-12.
It's local in New Delhi. You can catch it.
Local New Delhi.
Yeah.
I get the live tour on that as well. I'll take Cal though to beat Arizona State there. So all right, we're racking up some wins here.
I got them at 4 wins.
We're almost
win totals at 5.
hit this number.
Now here's an interesting game. They've had Oregon State's number, I feel like, over the years, but Oregon State and Jonathan Smith, he's building something there, man. The 10-win season a year ago. They actually, I believe, used to be on the same staff at Boise State, both Wilcox and Jonathan Smith under Chris Peterson. Man.
Yeah, this is tough. Back to back. This is at home. Is in Berkeley.
Yeah, but I'm kind of sold on Oregon State.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think the Beeve is who these cocaine bears want to be. I think the Beeve is like their
trying
ideal
to build that
situation.
dam, and I don't think it's going to work. Give me Oregon State to get it done there.
I like the Beef.
So that puts me at so I'm still 1 game ahead of you essentially.
You're at 4-2. I'm at 3-3.
Yeah, but now they head to Rice Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. That's one of the hardest places to play in all of America. They're not winning that. So I am giving that to Utah. So now I have them at what? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3. You have them at what?
3 and 4.
Okay.
That's a tough. They have a tough conference road schedule going on so far.
They do.
They have a couple of their easier ones at home, and I mean, a couple of those games. I'm not saying they have no chance, but like,
I think
good luck
I
at Utah and
think
Washington. I mean,
all of their road games minus Stanford, the rivalry game, which throw record books out.
Throw everything out.
Were against 9-win teams and above from a season ago.
Wow.
So that's not fun.
That's not fun.
But how about this one? USC comes to Cal Memorial Stadium on Saturday, October 28th. This is a game that's been happening for over 100 years, and it's coming to an end. I see fuel. When that happens, man, these schools, there's a reason why Oklahoma and Texas haven't been in the Big 12 championship lately. They put a target on their back, and all these other places are going to get up for this game because they think their shit don't stink. Close game. USC wins though.
Woo! I tell you what,
I almost went Cal here.
I tell you what, I think I might be going Cal.
You know what? You sold me. Let's go. Let's go with the Golden Bears.
Fuel to the fire.
Yes.
And that's you're right. Let's get this is the game, and this is where the season falls apart too. By the way, this is like when you have those peak victories. You talk about them having a parade
Halloween
and
weekend too.
Give me all of this. Give me all of this, Cal Bears. And I love Cal Bears.
So that's got me at 5.
This is my game of the year. That's your 5. You already got a push.
You're at 4.
I'm at 4. We both are on this. Yeah, I love this game. That's Halloween weekend. Yeah, absolutely. Let's get involved in this.
Then the very next weekend they head to Autzen to take on the Oregon Ducks. That's a loss.
That's enough. Especially off our big USC win. I want to bet both these game of the years right now if I can.
So I got him at 5 and 4. He's got him at 4 and 5.
Yep.
Now an interesting game. The Washington State Cougars, Cameron Ward, come into Cal Berkeley. This is a winnable game.
This is winnable.
This is a huge game as far as
this is
like if you're going to go bowling. If you're going to go bowling, because you're not going to be favored against USC.
No,
you're not going to be favored against Auburn. No. So if you score one of those upsets, or both of them, this is the one that could get you there because I'm going there.
You got him over to Coug.
I think it's a field goal game. This
is
like a 34-31 game.
This is like a late night. This is a late night game. You can tell like one of those. You had to put Papos on the call. The
high school event. Exactly. Every fucking player.
5A. And there's one of these wild, wacky games that go across and it comes down to a field goal. And that's why we got the son of the Mick the Kick this year. See, when you think's a weakness, I think the strength. The son of Mick the Kick. Let's do it. Let's get these Cal Bears in there. Something's brewing up there. That
you going with the win?
Let me get my 5th win with the Cal.
So I'm on the over now.
Yeah, you got 6. I got to push a 5.
All right, and then comes the rivalry game. Once again, though, Stanford breaking in a brand new head coach, Troy Taylor coming over from the FCS in Sacramento State.
Yep.
I think he kind of walks into a kind of depleted roster. I got Cal winning at Stanford, but these games are always fucking insane.
Yeah, you can never tell what goes on right here. I mean,
honestly, a couple years ago, wasn't it that Wilcox ties it was in Berkeley, he ties it up to win the game with 5 seconds left.
Right.
Kicker misses the extra point.
Yeah.
So they lose by 1. These games are always insane.
Sometimes even one time they got crushed up there back when they were really bad. Back when there were this was before Tedford was coach.
Yeah.
When they had historically bad teams. Like one year, they had a D-back lead the team in scoring. Delta O'Neal.
Oh, I remember Delta O'Neal. Yeah,
great player, but he led the team in scoring. He was a D-back.
How's that possible?
And then the students rushed the field, and the Palo Alto cops beat the shit out of them. So who knows? Throw everything out the books. Throw protocol out the books as well, and human rights violations. Throw those out the books when you got a rivalry game, which I love. But I think Cal can get this. Like you said, Stanford.
I think they can.
I mean, Stanford's. They have a lot of work to do.
And this is the 4th game,
right, of
a brand new head coach.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I love it. I got him at 7 wins right there.
My only problem with that is that I have him on a streak now. No, I got Cal. I got Cal beating the Coug at home. Instead of
USC,
in retrospect, now that I know that Stanford game's ahead of them, I might have them losing to Washington State. Looking ahead to this big game. Then
the big game Saturday, November 25th, and once again they've been playing for over 100 years.
Right.
This is another spot to say fuck you to Chip Kelly and UCLA because the Bruins come to. The Bears come to the Rose Bowl.
Ooh.
This will be 12,000 fans.
Yeah,
Probably.
that's not a tough road game. I mean, whatever. It's a tough road team.
Yeah.
But I've been to that Rose Bowl. I mean, you can do whatever. You can sit wherever the hell you want. You can sit on the bench.
Yeah.
You just can't sit next to a co-ed. If you look like me, then security intervenes.
This was a 7-point game a year ago.
Yes.
And they had DTR. They had Charbonnet.
Right.
I think they're capable of beating, especially there's talk that UCLA is going to go with this 5-star freshman, Dante Moore. If so.
And they plucked a bunch of Cal's players.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean?
Motivation's
on
I think
Cal's,
it's a winnable game.
Motivation's on Cal's side right there.
I'll favor UCLA.
I favor UCLA. It's the week after the big
last
game.
time they're ever going to play for a long, or at least for a long time.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of like the angle of USC and UCLA losing. I mean, we've seen this in several conferences now. When you put that target on your back, you don't really have that success that you have because every team starts to get up for you. Either way, I got him 6-6 or 7-5. I'm cashing the over. What are you doing here?
I'm taking UCLA in that game.
So their final record is what?
So did I have them at 5? I think I had it 6. I think I got them at 6 wins there.
6-6.
Absolutely, 6-6. Let's get them. Let's get them in the Netflix Stream Bowl since we got them in the Red Box Bowl.
Yeah,
in 2019.
What can they do right now? What's a provider like? What's the Fubo?
Yeah. Let's get them Fubo Live TV. Let's give them a free
won't
trial.
Exist in a year.
Let's give them the free trial bowl.
Direct TV bowl. That's a good one. All right. Well, look, before we get out of here, because we're both on the over, the overs are starting to roll in. I was heavy on the unders to start these previews, but I feel like I've gotten on a hot streak of.
And I think the key is not having the hook there on 5. Because 5 will get you that push. That's a big difference. If it was 5.5, I would definitely lean under, but
it
doesn't take much.
Yeah. No. I agree, man. And I think there's this side of it as well, is that they were super young last year. They're going to be I shouldn't say super experienced, but they're going to be a lot more experienced this year. So I like their chances to cash that over. And
going back to that Auburn game real quick. How many things traveling up there from Alabama coming up to this Cal game? Yeah.
They're going to be disgusted when they land in San Francisco and see all the homeless.
They're going to hate these and the kale salads. I mean, they're just going to come in there.
I just want some jalapeno poppers right now. What do they eat down there? They deep fry the peanuts.
Absolutely. Yeah. They fry the peanuts. Absolutely. It just reminds me of back when Cal was paying teams to play like Nebraska. I remember when Nebraska came through, they would bring like 40,000 those guys. And they would just come and, like you said, just be disgusted with the homeless and the beauty of it all. Why is it so beautiful up here? I don't like this shit.
Look, speaking of that, we got college football campus tour here. I did an interview earlier. And he's going to talk about. And by the way, I agree that Cal has one of the if you don't know about this stadium, Google image this stadium. This is one of the most beautiful stadiums in America. With no further ado, Michael Barker, aka College Football Campus Tour, comes on to talk about the California Golden Bears and Memorial Stadium. Joining us on the College Football Experience, California Golden Bears 2023 season preview is someone that, I mean, look, if you love college football, you got to be following this guy. I know him as Michael Barker, but you might know him as College Football Campus Tour on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. Michael, welcome to the show. And, tell me about your experiences to go to Memorial Stadium to catch Cal Golden Bear football games.
So Cal is the stadium that's closest in proximity to where I live. So I've been there many times, not just on game day, but visiting the campus. This year marks the 100th year anniversary of being built. It was opened in 1923, dedicated to the memory of soldiers that died in World War I. Has 63,000 seat capacity. It's built right in the middle of Strawberry Canyon, and it came out at the same time as the LA Coliseum and the Rose Bowl. So 3 classic stadiums all built around the same time. I consider it one of possibly the most underrated stadiums in all of the FBS. And there's a couple interesting facts about it. First of all, it's built right on top of the Hayward earthquake fault. And it hasn't had a big earthquake, the cataclysmic one that we've been trying to avoid in California for a long time. But between 2010 and 2011, they tore down the whole west side of the stadium, earthquake retrofitted it, and made it so it could withstand a movement from the earthquake. The team actually played at the San Francisco Giants baseball stadium for 2 years. And then the other fact that I love, they took the dirt from when they built the stadium originally, and they made a hill outside the stadium. And that hill is tall enough to be able to look inside the stadium. They call it Tightwad Hill. For anybody who can't get a ticket or doesn't have the money, you climb up the top of Tightwad Hill, you can look right inside California Memorial Stadium.
That's fantastic. It reminds me of like Sun Devil Stadium. But this is one, and I've never been to the stadium. I've been to Berkeley, but I've never been to this stadium. And me and Patty C always talk about it. They have these big trees. It looks so awesome from like outside of the stadium. If you were to do a Google image of this, I've always said like, man, this is a classic stadium. This is where we should be playing some of our college football playoff games. In my opinion, if you're going to do neutral site stadiums like this or the Sun Bowl, it just seems awesome. Even though I haven't been, it just seems awesome. I got to get to a game. How have you been up on the hill, by the way?
I have been up on the hill, and they have a little deck up there with a cannon that shoots off when they score. And it's just a cool, I mean, it gives you, we know Berkeley has the connotations with the protests back in the 60s and 70s. Some of it feels like a time warp, but it really is a stadium. I've said, if you thought about an on-campus stadium that could host a national championship, given the seating capacity, given the climate, given the time of year, there's a couple that jump out. One would be Sun Devil Stadium, host Super Bowls before. You can maybe make an argument for Austin, but Cal, January, 63,000 seats outdoor. There's a lot of possibilities there, but it's a special place. I'm fortunate to live near it, but I recommend everybody try to catch a Cal Berkeley game at least once in their life.
Yeah, if you're out in San Francisco or something, make sure you get on over to there to check out. People don't know this. John Madden taught football classes at the University of Cal right after he left the Oakland Raiders. This is a classic, and people don't know that Cal used to be a very, very, very good football team. Maybe Justin Wilcox can get the Golden Bears back to where they should be. So, folks, make sure you check out Michael Barker on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. Michael, I appreciate you come talking about California Memorial Stadium on the College Football Experience. And this is one where I feel like I really think I got to get up there. I got to make sure that you come out for a game and we catch a Golden Bear game at Memorial Stadium there.
Yeah, this is one I got on my radar. I haven't been there since 2019. So if I get there, I hope you join me.
There we go, brother. All right. Thank you so much, man. And have a wonderful day. All right. Michael Barker on the show. And dude, did you Google image that stadium? That stadium's incredible. That stadium's incredible.
You were saying you think the national championship game should be there.
I think college football is kind of bought by like all the, they're playing at terrible, like their playoffs are at terrible locations. That's why I've lobbied they should do on-campus games for the whole thing, and then have one final neutral site
every
just
time,
like the Super Bowl. But
because Cal's not gonna be in the championship game.
Yeah. So but you got all these classic, like the NFL doesn't have stadiums that are that old.
Right.
The Sun Bowl in El Paso. I mean, college football has so many great stadiums that you could play at. I think it's one of the best. And I think they should. The fact it's so close to a city too, because some of the college football stadiums that are fantastic are out in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, well, you can't send in these people in January. Right. You can get to the stadium pretty easily. So
I think I might make some Halloween plans. Get that USC Cal game.
Let's go.
I mean,
let's go.
Right?
Get up there, folks, and get out there and check out CJ Sullivan. His podcast, Bottom Line Bombs. They call him the man in the box. And also, CJ's a touring comic. He's out there. He's probably going to be at Berkeley.
Yeah, those crowds are pussies. But
look, I'm going to protest. I protested the war on football.
Yeah,
all right?
You goddamn right.
Yeah, so let's go football. And look, we love Cal Berkeley, man. We want
Cal Berkeley. I was just joking.
To hit that over. We want them to hit that over. All right,
we're pulling for it.
Folks, give CJ a follow though, as I alluded to. He's at CJ Sullivan _ on Twitter. And I'm on Twitter at DColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. Remember to also check out all of our other feeds. I mean, the College Football Experience, College Basketball Experience, the College Baseball Experience. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. So check out those. Come talk Cal Golden Bear football with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We also have an SGPN app that is free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. You'll get access to all of our articles, content, all that, our picks. So hop on over there and get all of that good stuff. All right, folks, until next time, this is the California Golden Bears 2023 season preview episode You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking at the whole